Okay, so we're now on page 143. We're going to use the healing brush tool, and we're going to segue into using the dodge and sponge tools. So the objective here is, although it's really difficult to see because this is a fantastic image of this model, there's actually blemishes here, imagine that. So we're going to zoom in. I'm going to click the zoom tool here. I'm going to zoom in. And when you do zoom in, you can see there's little subtle things like the strand of hair that's in the face, and there's a few blemishes. We're going to fine tune this. So we're going to go to the layers panel, and actually I'd forgotten I already did that, so I should delete this. Oops, no, I want to leave that there, my bad. So I want to go to the background layer, and I want to add a duplicate layer. So there's several ways to do this. I can right click it and click duplicate layer, and I'm going to call this the corrections layer. So that way all my changes are going to be made to this corrections layer. So you can see I'm turning off the background layer and turning off the visibility, and you can still see everything you need to see. So the first tool we're going to use is the healing brush tool, whichever on your right hand side is the we actually want the spot healing brush, which should be your first option there in that pull down. And we want to set the settings to a brush of 7. I'm just going to type this in. A setting of 7. Make sure it's normal mode, and make sure that content aware is selected. And I'm going to leave my hardness. It does not say, but I'm going to leave this at 50. I think it'll be okay. So I'm good with that. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more here because I want to get on this hair. And go back to my spot healing brush. And I'm just going to select over that hair so I can eliminate that. Now what I didn't do, silly me, was I need to change that back to 7. I think I will make this hardness up to 100. I think it's going to be a little bit better. So I'm going to go back over that. And for some reason, my brush stroke keeps changing on me. There we go. Well, I probably should redo that, but hopefully you get the idea with that. It would look a lot better had I done 7 the first time through. So what you can do from here is you can just explore doing different things, like just to get an idea. Like you can maybe fine tune and get rid of these hairs here. Now you don't want to get too overzealous. Like if you do something silly, like maybe go through the eye, you do something goofy like that. So you got to be careful of what you do. So you can spend a few minutes just experimenting with this. Like maybe you want to get rid of this blemish up here, or maybe some other minor blemishes. But you don't want to overdo it and lose the actual character of the image itself. So go ahead and try to experiment with that. Another thing we can do is we can go back, and this is on page 144, is we can actually use not the spot healing brush, but the healing brush. Because the spot healing brush is a little bit more aware. We're going to go to the healing brush tool, which is underneath the spot healing brush. And with this, we do want a pixel size of the brush of 19, and we want a hardness of 50. So what we're going to do here is like that. Beautiful. So what we're going to do with this is this tool needs to know a place where you're going to try to copy from. So what I'm going to do here is I want to basically try to make some subtle changes to the excessive makeup underneath her eye. So this is what the text says, that this is excessive makeup. So the healing brush, because it doesn't automatically find a spot, we need to tell it where we want it to copy from. So I'm going to go down just a little bit underneath the eye on the cheekbone, because I want to basically copy this color tones of the skin and try to make it more under here. So I have to select here, and I'm going to hold down Alt, and you'll see that it changes to this target setting. And once I click, and as I drag, you'll see, it's very hard to see probably here on the video, but you'll see a crosshair moving right underneath there. I can't point to it or anything, but there is a crosshair. And I have to be careful, because if I get over to on top of the nose, I'm going to pull in that line of the nose. Let me see if I can if I can do that and show you what I'm talking about. So if I go underneath here and if I cross over the nose, you can see that right in this area it's added that line because it's pulling in the idea from below here. So you got to be careful what you do with that. You don't want to be too overzealous with that. So you might have to go back and then select a different area. See, I actually did it again. So you might have to go back and do that again. I'll try one more time. And just do a couple times. You don't have to do, spend hours on it, but just some minor changes. Try to tidy that up. And then you can do the same thing on this side as well. It should be a little bit easier because there's not nearly as many obstacles as you do this. So just make some minor adjustments to the actual makeup that's underneath there. Alright, so in the last video, actually we may have 2 more videos, see how long it takes me, but in the next video we'll be doing the bottom of page 144 and 145 using the dodge and smudge tools.